There's a woman you know who seems completely unbothered by drama, criticism, or chaos around her. While everyone else crumbles under pressure or gets triggered by petty comments, she remains mysteriously calm and collected. People try to push her buttons, but nothing sticks. She's psychologically untouchable, and you wonder what makes her so different from everyone else. She's mastered something most women never learn: the ancient Stoic principle of psychological separation. This is about creating an unbreachable fortress around your inner peace that no external force can penetrate. Most women are walking around completely exposed, emotionally naked to every opinion, criticism, and external circumstance. They've never learned to separate their internal worth from external validation. But the women who seem untouchable, they've cracked the code that philosophers have been teaching for thousands of years. The first secret is understanding the fundamental difference between what happens to you and what happens within you. The untouchable woman recognizes that she has zero control over other people's actions, words, or opinions about her. But she has complete control over her response to these things. This isn't just positive thinking, it's a complete rewiring of how you process reality. When someone criticizes her work, she doesn't spiral into self-doubt or launch into defensive explanations. She evaluates the criticism objectively. Is it constructive? If yes, she uses it to improve. If no, she discards it like unwanted mail. The criticism exists in the external world, but it cannot touch her inner sense of worth unless she gives it permission to do so. This separation isn't natural for most women because we're socialized to be hyper-aware of social dynamics and other people's emotions. We're taught that being sensitive to others is a virtue, which it is, but somewhere along the way, many women lost the ability to distinguish between being emotionally intelligent and being emotionally porous. The untouchable woman maintains her empathy and emotional intelligence while protecting her inner sanctuary. The second secret is that untouchable women don't derive their identity from their circumstances. Your job title, relationship status, bank account, or social media followers are not who you are. They're temporary conditions that exist in your life right now. The woman who understands this cannot be shaken when these external factors change because her sense of self isn't tied to them. When she loses a job, she doesn't lose her identity as a capable professional. When a relationship ends, she doesn't lose her worth as a woman deserving of love. When people don't understand her choices, she doesn't lose confidence in her decision-making abilities. Her identity exists separately from her circumstances, which means her circumstances cannot destroy her. This doesn't mean she doesn't care about outcomes or doesn't have preferences. She absolutely does. But she holds these preferences lightly, knowing that her happiness and self-worth aren't dependent on getting exactly what she wants, exactly when she wants it. This paradoxical detachment actually makes her more effective at achieving her goals because she's not operating from a desperate, needy energy that repels opportunities. The third secret is that psychologically untouchable women have mastered the art of emotional regulation without emotional suppression. There's a massive difference between these two approaches, and understanding this difference is crucial. Emotional suppression is pushing feelings down, pretending they don't exist, or numbing yourself to avoid discomfort. This creates an internal pressure cooker that eventually explodes. Emotional regulation is acknowledging your feelings, understanding what they're telling you, and then consciously choosing how to respond, rather than reacting automatically. When the untouchable woman feels anger, she doesn't pretend she's not angry. She notices the anger, understands what triggered it, and then decides whether acting on that anger serves her goals or not. If someone says something hurtful to her, she might feel the initial sting of pain. But instead of lashing out defensively or internalizing the hurt, she pauses. She recognizes that the pain is information. It's telling her that someone crossed a boundary, or that she values something that feels threatened. Then she chooses her response from a place of wisdom, rather than raw emotion. This pause, between feeling and acting, is where her power lies. Most people are slaves to their immediate emotional reactions. They feel something and immediately act on it, which makes them predictable and easy to manipulate. The untouchable woman creates space between stimulus and response, which gives her tremendous power over her own life. The fourth secret is that untouchable women understand the concept of radical acceptance. This doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on your dreams. It means accepting reality as it currently exists so you can work with it effectively, rather than wasting energy fighting against things you cannot change. If she's dealing with a difficult colleague, she doesn't spend mental energy being outraged that this person exists or wishing they were different. She accepts that this is the reality of her current work situation and focuses on what she can control: her own behavior, responses, and strategies for dealing with the situation. This acceptance frees up enormous mental energy that most people waste on resistance and resentment. She applies this same principle to her own mistakes and shortcomings. Instead of beating herself up for past decisions or current limitations, she accepts where she is right now as the starting point for where she wants to go. This self-compassion isn't weakness, it's the foundation of genuine strength because it allows her to see clearly without the distortion of self-judgment. The fifth secret is that psychologically untouchable women have developed unshakable core beliefs about their own worth. These beliefs aren't dependent on external validation or achievement. They're not contingent on being perfect or never making mistakes. Her worth is inherent, non-negotiable, and exists independently of anyone else's opinion about her. This doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistently choosing to treat herself with respect, setting and maintaining boundaries, and refusing to participate in relationships or situations that require her to diminish herself to make others comfortable. Every time she honors her own needs and values, she reinforces her core belief in her own worth. When someone tries to make her feel small, guilty, or ashamed, these attempts bounce off of her internal conviction, like arrows off of armor. Not because she's arrogant or thinks she's better than others, but because she's built an unshakable foundation of self-respect that cannot be moved by external pressure. The truly powerful part about becoming psychologically untouchable is that it's not about protecting yourself from the world. It's about engaging with the world from a place of strength rather than vulnerability. When you're not constantly worried about being hurt, rejected, or criticized, you can take bigger risks, love more deeply, and pursue your goals more boldly. People are drawn to this energy because it's rare and magnetic. There's something captivating about a woman who seems completely at peace with herself, who doesn't need your approval, but genuinely enjoys your company, who can handle conflict without falling apart or becoming cruel. This isn't about becoming cold or disconnected. The most untouchable women are often the warmest and most present because they're not using their energy to protect themselves from imaginary threats or manage other people's emotions. They're free to be fully themselves. You already have everything you need to become psychologically untouchable. It's not a special gift or natural talent, it's a skill that can be developed through practice and commitment. Every time you choose your response, instead of reacting automatically. Every time you separate your worth from your circumstances. Every time you accept reality and focus on what you can control, you're building this unshakable inner strength. The world needs more women who cannot be manipulated, controlled, or broken by external pressure. Women who know their worth and don't need constant validation to remember it. Women who can weather any storm because they've built their foundation on solid ground. If you found this perspective valuable, subscribe for more content on developing unshakable inner strength. Share your thoughts in the comments about what makes someone psychologically untouchable. I'd love to hear your experiences and insights on this topic.